In case you don't know me by now, I am Amanda. I'm Mark and Linda's youngest daughter, and I work with them in their ministry. And I have a little guest with me today. I've been trying to film this video for a while now, but my kids never nap at the same time if they ever do nap, so I'm just going to do this one on the fly and with this little guest. So this is Wesley. Right after Christmas, he joined our family, and we are incredibly grateful to have him, and we've been enjoying him, and his big sister has been enjoying him. We have a 2-year-old daughter named Allie, and as wonderful as it's been a really big adjustment. I feel like the adjustment from 1 to 2 has been overwhelming at times, and in those moments I have a lot of guilt because I don't feel like I'm being the mom that I was called to be. I have a 2-year-old little girl, and she is fiery and fierce and loving and sweet, and she loves her baby brother so much. But the adjustment to having to share the attention and not getting out of the house quite as much and all the different changes that have come have also been a challenge for her. And when I'm exhausted and feel like I have just nothing left to give, I find myself being short with her just for being 2. She's just being a 2-year-old, and the days often don't go the way that I wish that they could go. I so want to just, enjoy my kids as much as I can. Everybody tells you it goes so fast, and it does. It really, really does. And yet at the same time, I feel like that stresses me out even more because I don't want to miss anything, and I don't want to make mistakes as a mom, even though I know I'm going to make mistakes. And I have a tendency to be hard on myself for being human as a parent. I recently came to a breaking point when all 4 of us got sick. So at 5 weeks old, this little guy caught whatever we all had, and it was just a miserable, miserable time, to be completely honest with you. And by the end of those days, I was just left with feeling like a complete failure as a parent. And I felt like I was doing a terrible job. And that was just how I felt in the moment. And I realize I'm human, but at the same time, as a mom, you want to do your best for your kids, and as a spouse, you want to treat your spouse well and with love, and it just wasn't going well, and I hit a wall and I broke down. And a good friend shared something with me that so pierced my heart and was a balm to my wounded soul at the time, and I thought that it would be helpful to some of you as well. So my friend said, one of the things that you really need to cling to as a parent is love covers a multitude. A multitude of mistakes, a multitude of sin, a multitude of being human, a multitude of being exhausted and lashing out when you really just need to go to bed. All these different things. When life and family are lived in love, it covers a multitude of everything, and forgiveness can happen. Parenting tends to demonstrate so many of our inadequacies, but our kids aren't nurtured by our skills and our abilities. They're nurtured by our love. And when all we want is to love them and raise them with the love of God, that right there pretty much guarantees our success in that. But success is not the same thing as perfection. The days are not going to be perfect. And I, for one, have needed to cut myself some slack in those things. And I've needed to realize that the voice I'm listening to lately has not been the voice of God, because the Holy Spirit doesn't condemn me for being human and making some mistakes as a mom. So when I'm hearing that I'm a terrible parent and that I'm failing and that I'm not doing a good job with my kids, that's not the right voice that I'm supposed to be listening to. So I just want to encourage you in your relationships, in your marriages, in your relationships with your kids today, when you're doing these things out of love, love really does cover a multitude. It covers a multitude of being human, it covers a multitude of failure, and it covers a multitude of mistakes. So pull your attention off of that condemning voice today and get it back on God, because His grace really is made perfect in our weaknesses. If we were strong enough to do this on our own, we wouldn't need God, and that would be a terrible thing, because that's the beauty of how grace works. when we are this weak and falling apart, that's when grace comes in and can completely change us. And that's when God can actually live through us and do what we can't do on our own. So just remember today, when you're living in humility, when you're willing to ask for forgiveness and admit when you're wrong, love really does cover everything.